Batwoman, guys, episode 18, the season finale, the power. Oh man, I cannot believe we've reached the end. I'm gonna do one of these days. I'm gonna do a t-shirt line. I'm gonna have t-shirts that says "I'm out this biatch." I'm gonna have t-shirts that says Red Eyes Entertainment, and I'm gonna have a t-shirt that says "We've reached the end." And oh man, like to think where we started from when Kate's plane exploded to Ryan putting on the Batwoman costume for the first time to Kate coming back, dealing with the whole thing with Alice, with Sophia and everybody. It's like this was a good season. This was definitely a good, and I just want to say that right out the gate. They handled Ruby Rose's exit perfectly. They handled it very beautifully, and they did a good job of. They didn't recast Kate Kane right out of the gate. They recast her halfway through. So by the time they recast the Kate Kane character, we were already used to Ryan as being Batwoman. So it's not like they recast Kate and had Kate and Ryan at the same time. So then the fans rejected Ryan and everybody, like it was done. It was definitely done very well. It was definitely done very well. So I'm very happy with where this is going, and I'm glad that they got a season 3. So let's get right into it and talk about the season finale of Batwoman. So this episode starts with your boy Sionis. He for somehow he got himself on TV and he was broadcasting to everybody all over Gotham City. And he was telling everybody, he was just like, oh, screw the police, screw Batwoman, screw the crows. He was just like, it's time for Gotham to take up arms and be our own heroes and, destroy things on our own and do stuff on our own. So he was trying to basically convince the townspeople to be their own vigilante. He even said, I've left black masks all over the city. He's like, put one on and take back your power, Gotham. Like the word power kept getting brought up a lot. So, and the funny thing is, but then he was talking to Cersei, he was talking to Kate, and he said to her, he said that as Black Mask, he didn't want to be feared. He wanted to be a hero. So he said, so he went on TV, he got the whole city riled up as Black Mask. Now everybody's looking at Black Mask as this big cult leader who's got all these people following behind him and making him, and destroying the city on his behalf. So then he said his plan was he was going to then give one of his minions his specific Black Mask, have that person go on TV again, and then Ronan Sionis was going to show up and kill Black Mask, and then, that's how the city would embrace him as its hero, like the savior of Gotham. He basically just wanted to be like a hero. He wanted to be the savior of Gotham. He even said, he was even talking about Batman, and then he was just like, Batman had a good thing going. He was like, come on. He was like molded plastic abs on the suit, but it was, it was very funny. It was very funny, but that was his whole thing. They said he wanted to be a hero. And he said anybody that tries to stop his plans will have to deal with Cersei, aka Kate Kane. So now the Bat team, they're all trying to figure out what to do, like Luke and Mary and everybody that they're trying to talk. They're like, oh, do we go after Kate first? Do we go after Sionis? Do we stop the people? Then Luke was just like, he's like, first we stop Sionis, then we stop Kate. And then Mary was like, I don't know how to do that. So Mary basically said, she was like, listen, because of all this chaos that's going on now with all these people putting on these black masks attacking the city, she said that the clinic's going to be full. Like a lot of people are going to end up getting hurt and they're going to come to the clinic. So she was just like, once you guys figure out what you're going to do, let me know. But I'm going down to the clinic, to go, to get prepared for all these like injured bodies. So then, at that point, Ryan was talking to Luke, and then Ryan was also talking to Sophie, and she was feeling some kind of way because she was like, look, your homegirl, she was like, yo, Kate bust my ass in the last episode and she took my suit. She's like, I don't have the Batwoman suit. She's like, I can't beat, Kate. She was flat out like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. She's like, I don't even know if I can beat her. Sophie had said to her, she was just like, listen, she was like, first of all, you are Batwoman, and that's why you are going to beat her. And then, then Ryan looked at Sophie and she was just like, first of all, she was like, when did me and you become partners? And when did you and I start teaming up? And she was like, first of all, that bitch shot me with a crossbow. So she was like, I'm coming with you. And that was the whole plan. The whole plan was for Sophie to go with Ryan to go take down Black Mask. But then some gang members, like the people who put the mask on, they started terrorizing people right outside of the club. So Sophie and Ryan, they went outside to go fight, to go fight and like save the public and help people. And I guess the mayor was one of the people that was outside the club. He got attacked. And then Sophie and Ryan, like they saved the mayor. And then this is how they conveniently got Sophie out of the picture for the rest of the episode, because the mayor, he was okay. I think he got shot, but he was still alive. And then Ryan was like, oh, get the mayor down, to the hospital as soon as possible. And then Sophie was like, oh, but I'm supposed to go with you. She was like, bitch, get the mayor to the hospital. That's your task. She was like, that's how we get you off the show until the end. So That's what Sophie did. And it's crazy because I was going to say this for the end, but Sophie was the MVP of the entire season. So for Sophie to do as much as she did throughout the entire season, only to get like shelved at the very last second, I was like, well, that's a little disappointing, but I understand why they did what they did. And, she got her moment at the end, which we'll get to. So Sophie's out the picture now. So now Ryan comes back into, she comes back into the bar, and then here comes Alice. She was like, where's my sister Kate? And then they said what happened. They said that, Cersei took over and, they're trying to go rescue her. And then Alice was just like, bitch, you live in my sister's loft too. She was just like, oh, she's like, you're just trying to take everything from us. And then, it got to a point where Ryan had went to Alice and she said, listen, I need your help. She said, I'm going down to stop Black Mass, because Luke had found out where Black Mass was. She said, I'm going down to help, to stop Black Mass, but your sister's going to be there. Kate's going to be there. And then she said, I need your help to help me bring Kate home. So, after that, Luke ended up going to the Bat Archives room where, all of Bruce's stuff got stolen. And he was just trying to find like anything that they can use to help with the upcoming fight. Ryan and Alice are in the Batmobile now. And while they're in the Batmobile, they're talking. And then Alice is just like, oh, I'm going to get revenge, for what they did, for what happened to Ocean. And then, Ryan was just like, anybody care about you and no Ocean, bitch? And then, then Alice was just like, oh, Sophia took the one person from me, that meant the most to me, that I loved. And then she was just like, I just feel nothing but this emptiness and this agonizing pain. And, Ryan didn't say anything. And then when the two of them got to Black Mass hideout, Alice basically told her, she was just like, listen, I'm trying to tell you. She's like, I'm sorry for what I did to your stepmom. I understand how you feel because I took that one person away from you. And then, then Ryan was just like, bitch, you don't deserve my forgiveness. She was like, you're a murderer. And then she was like, how come I don't deserve forgiveness? Because I'm a villain and you're a hero. And then she said, your first act on this planet was killing somebody. And then she's like, bitch, what you talking about, Willis? And she told her, she said that when she found out, because Alice basically said the episode where Ryan left her for dead, at the hands of Cersei, she said after her torture, she went out of her way to find out everything about Ryan that she possibly could. And one of the things that Alice found out, Ryan's birth mother allegedly died during childbirth. So Alice was just like, you sitting here talking about me killing people. She said that the first act you ever did on this planet was kill your mom. And then Ryan punched her in the face and she was like, after we saved Kate, I'm putting your ass behind bars, bitch. So the two of them are like reluctantly teaming up now, but they're going in together to try to save Kate. So they go in there. Now, again, Ryan doesn't have the bat suit. She doesn't have any weapons. So Alice and Ryan show up. Kate, Cersei is there. She's dressed in the bat suit. She got all the weapons. She whooping everybody ass. She whooping everybody ass. Siona shows up. He's got the two guns or whatever. And then, once Siona showed up, because Kate had the bag that had all of the archive stuff in it, like the Bane venom, like the poison ivy stuff, all that stuff was in a bag. And then, Sionis told her, he was like, yo, get the bag out of here. He's like, secure the bag. He said, you got to secure the bag. So Kate left. And then Ryan went to go chase after her because Alice was like, go save my sister. Alice and Sionis had a conversation. And then Sionis was just like, bitch, you want to know why you suck at being a villain? Because she was just like, you can't hate your sister and try to save her at the same time. He was like, it's confusing and it sends the wrong message. And then, then Alice said to him, she was like, well, you know who was a great villain? And then she took the Joker's like poison flower thing, like shoved it in, like, she sprayed it in his face. She was like, the Joker, motherfucker. And then she sprayed him in the Black Mass. He was just like, his face, I don't know, his face was burning. Or whatever was happening. And then, Alice left to go after Kate as well. So now back at the archives room, Luke is there again. He's going through all the stuff he needs to go through in order to try to help the team. And then he stumbles across some old photos that he drew when he was a kid. He said later on in the episode that when he was a kid, he always imagined what a black Batman would look like. And he drew those particular images all the time. Come to find out, there was one of the drawings that he had as a kid. It had like writing on it, and it had like notes and stuff on it, and pointing to like the gauntlet on the suit, saying like that's where the missiles go or something like that. And then Luke was just like, wait a minute, like was my dad actually trying to build this thing? And then he started looking around, and then he found that he saw something under a cloak. He removed the cloak, and then Luke saw the suit that he drew on the paper as a child. And then when he pulled the cloak back, the suit was revealed, and then he touched it. And then when Luke touched the suit lit up. My dad basically made my childhood dream a reality. And Luke didn't say anything. He didn't tell nobody. He was just like in awe, just staring at, he's like, yo, this shit's been in here the whole time, and that was like the first step towards the Batwing reveal, and I got very excited when that happened. So now earlier in the episode, Tagaroth had the venom like pumped into his system. I guess like during the process he kind of passed out. So then Sionis was just like, oh, he's a failed experiment, throw that motherfucker in the trash. So they threw him in the trash, and then somebody found him in the trash, and they brought him to Mary's hospital. When Mary recognized him, she was like, I can't believe I got to save this son of a bitch, because he shot Luke. But then he had snake bite injected like into like his system. When Mary saw the snake bite, she removed it, and then after she removed it, she thought about it for a second, because the whole thing with snake bite, which is what Commander Kane had to go through, snake bite was basically giving people positive memories, happy memories. It was putting them in a hallucinate state, and it was bringing, like their biggest like failures. It was bringing accomplishments to their biggest failures. Like in Jacob Kane's situation, him saving Beth and, like saving his daughter. So then Mary started thinking, she was like, if we inject Kate with the snake bite, it'll bring back all of her memories as well, because she's not Cersei Sionis, she's Kate Kane. So if we inject her with snake bite, it'll bring back Kate's memories and it won't bring back Cersei's memories. So she's like, that's how we can jog Kate's memory. So then she called Luke, and then she was like, yo, Luke, she took the snake bite out of Homeboy, and then she went outside, and then she was like, yo, Luke, I know how we can bring Kate's memories back. And then Luke was like, yo, it's a good idea. I think you should go for it. But then at that moment, dude woke up and he was like, where's the snake bite? Like he was all like juiced up and everything. He busted out of the hospital, and then he saw Mary in the alley, and then Mary told Luke, she was just like, yo, I'm about to get my ass beat. And then Mary ran from the guy. So he was like, give me the snake bite. He chased her all through the alley. She climbed up the escalator, and then when the fire escape. And then when she climbed up the fire escape, he chased her up the fire escape, and then he grabbed Mary, and then she was just like, oh, if you don't let me go, like I'll destroy the snake bite. And he was like, bitch, he took Mary and threw Mary off the balcony. And then right before she got thrown off the balcony, you saw Luke step into the shot in the water with the boots, with the Batwing boots on. And then when Mary got thrown off the side, Luke activated the rocket pack, and then he flew up and he caught Mary. And that was a cool moment, because what made it special, not only was it because that was the first time we get to see Luke in the Batwing costume, I thought it was very poetic that he saved Mary of all people. So then he caught Mary, we got to see the Batwing suit. And then after he caught Mary, the suit propulsion kind of failed or whatever, and then Luke and Mary, like, they fell on the ground. And then then he took the mask down, he looked at Mary, and then he was like, my bad for the fall. He was like, I'm still working out the kinks. And then Mary was just kind of like, what the hell is happening? Like, she was just like so like baffled that he had a super suit, but and that line where he was just like, I'm still working out the kinks, it was done on purpose. Because then after that, Tagaroth came back downstairs, and then, he looked at Luke in the suit, and then he was like, who are you supposed to be? And then Luke powered up. He was like, I'm supposed to be Justice, bitch. And then he punched him right in the chest, and then he knocked him out. Now, a lot of people were a little down over the fact that the two of them didn't have like a full-blown like hero fight. I'm perfectly fine with their whole interaction just being the reveal of the Batwing suit, Luke punching him in the face and knocking him out, because Luke said that he's still working out the kinks, which says to us, this is just a small tease, a small reveal, but you don't actually get the whole thing until next season. By the time the show picks up in season 3, Luke would have worked all the kinks out already, and the suit's going to be dope, and it's going to be better than ever. They just wanted to introduce it to us now, the same way like on all the Arrowverse shows. Like take Arrow, for example, when Thea decided that she wanted to become Speedy. In the season finale, I believe it was episode 4 of the season finale. No, it was episode 3. It was episode 3 of the season finale. That's when League of Assassins came in and tried to poison everybody. Like, they just had Thea had the suit on. She had the Red Arrow Speedy suit on. She fired one arrow at somebody. They just showed her in this, but she didn't really do much after that. Like, she just took the arrow out. She shot the arrow. We saw her in the suit, and that was it. And then when the show picked up in the very next season, she was out there fighting crime and doing the tricks and all this other stuff. So, like I said, like, they always give you the tease in the season finale. Like, we never get like the full blown thing. So I said I was perfectly fine with that. If I can say anything, and I really hate to say it because it's really not a negative thing, but if there's anything negative I can say about the suit, it's just that it reminds me of the Nightwing costume. The only difference is the logo is bigger and he has a helmet. But so I mean, from a color standpoint, because I know in Batman Bad Blood, the animated movie, the Batwing costume was gray. It was gray. It was mostly gray. It had some black in it, and I think the logo lit up blue. So if they did like a light gray and black, fine. But because they went with black and blue, it just kind of reminded me of the Nightwing costume. But that's irrelevant because again, like Luke can fly and he's got a helmet. So anyway, so after that, that was basically it for Luke and Mary. And then Ryan showed up, and then they gave, Mary gave Ryan the snake bite, and then she said that she converted it into aerosol. So she was like, if you spray this into Kate's face, it'll re-jog her memories. But she said, but don't get close to it yourself, because if you get too close to it, then the snake bite effects will hit you as well. So Ryan takes the aerosol. She goes after Kate. Kate's on her motorcycle. Ryan's in the Batmobile. They had a nice little cool chase scene. And then when Ryan took out the motorcycle, both Kate and Ryan were on the bridge, I guess, where Beth and Alice had their accident when they were children. So they're fighting on the bridge. Ryan's actually holding her own for once. She even used her helmet, to try to like get an advantage. And then while the two of them were fighting, then Alice showed up, and then Ryan was like, oh, pick up the aerosol can. So Alice picks up the aerosol can. Ryan moved out the way. Alice sprayed Kate with the aerosol, but then Alice herself jumped into the aerosol cloud, and Mary was like, don't do that. So Alice and Alice and Kate, at that point, both of them got hit with the aerosol, and then Kate grabbed Alice, and then the two of them went over the bridge and fell into the water. After both of them fell into the water, they started with Beth's hallucination. Beth's hallucination happy memory was, because she complained earlier, she said that because Sophia killed Ocean, she said that I didn't even get a chance to say goodbye. So in this thing, because she was bit with the snake bite, she finally got a chance to say goodbye, to Ocean. Her and Ocean had this whole conversation. And then he said that Ocean actually said, I'm glad that you're hurt. I'm glad that you're feeling pain, because it leads to let you know that your emotions and your feelings have returned. And I'm happy for that, because you deserve to have, to be, to have human feelings and be happy again. And then, in Kate's beautiful dream, it was the moment where Alice was Beth was trapped in the basement of the guy that kidnapped her. And then this time, because in last season we saw when Kate came downstairs, both of them were like on the other side of the door. Beth was afraid to say something, and then Kate couldn't sense her presence, and then she left. But this time she actually opened the door, she let Beth in, and she saved her sister. And then, after both of them had those dreams, Ryan pulled both of them out of the drink, and then they did mouth to mouth on Kate. They were able to they woke Kate up, and then when Kate woke up, she looked at Beth, and then she looked at Alice, and then she called her Beth. And then Alice started crying because she was like, oh, my sister's back, my sister's back. And then with Ryan, Alice, and Kate all on the floor together, the GCPD shows up, and they're just like, oh, is everybody okay? What's going on? Is everybody right? And then somebody was like, oh shit, that's Alice from the Wonderland gang. And they just snatched her up, and they didn't even, now from a social justice comedic standpoint, if the GCPD bypassed Kate, bypassed Alice, and snatched up Ryan and just locked up Ryan for no reason, I would have died laughing. But the fact that they snatched up Alice made me laugh as well, because they didn't even think twice about it. They're just like, it's Alice from the Wonderland gang. Like, come here, boy. Come here, and they just snatched her up. And then Alice was kicking and screaming. And then the show went to commercial. So when we come back from commercial, Ryan is at the hearing, because when Alice was going through her mail, she told her that she had a parole board hearing in the morning. She was at the parole board meeting. The board asked her, have you changed? And then she was like, no, because I'm the same person I've always been. Yeah, motherfucker set me up. She was like, yeah, locked me up for something I didn't do. But if you want me to say those specific words just so I can get the hell out of here. And then she said, yes, I've changed as a person. I'm starting a community center. I have friends now. I have a new family. I have purpose. She said, regardless of what you guys thought of me, you're not going to change my purpose or what I think of myself. And then they said all right, you're free to go. And then she left. Now that Kate has her memories back, Kate, Luke, and Mary, they're back at Wayne Tower, and they were all talking, and then they're just getting caught up on this season's missions. She was telling her about like all the missions and everything, and then Kate had said to Luke, she was just like, bro, where did you find a super suit? And then that's when he told him about the whole thing with his dad, his dad creating the suit for him, and then Ryan walked in, and then when Ryan walked in, she was like, yo, can I talk to Kate real quick? And then Luke and Mary like walked out. Ryan and Kate had the passing of the torch moment. Kate said, look, I became Batwoman to protect my city. You became Batwoman for survival. And then she said that I actually have a bigger mission now. But she said, but even if I didn't have a bigger mission now, she was like, Batwoman's yours. She was like, you've taken it, you've earned it, you deserve it. She said, just do me, just do me one favor. And then Ryan was like, don't worry. She's like, Luke and Mary, your family, and I'll take care of them. And the two of them hugged. Kate passed the torch, and then she left. What Kate said she was going to do, because she went to go talk to Sophie after that, she told Sophie that she was going to look for Bruce. She said first she's going to go, I guess she's going to go see Alice in prison. Then she's going to go see her dad in prison. Then she's going to go to National City to go see Supergirl, to go see Kara. And then after that, then she's going to go look for Bruce. And then, Sophie asked her, she was like, she said, why are you going to go look for Bruce? And then she told her, she was just like, well, I never forgave myself for not being able to save Beth. And Bruce has been gone for so long, he has to be kidnapped somewhere. She said, hell, I was kidnapped this whole season. So she was like, he has to be kidnapped somewhere where he needs help. And she said, if I can save Bruce, hopefully I can forgive myself for not being able to save Beth. And then, the two of them were just like, well, our relationship is always missing, and, we always miss our opportunities, and then she was just like, but if you meet someone else, bitch, they gonna have to compete with all this chocolatey goodness. And then the two of them kissed, and that was all cool and everything. And then, so now Kate's gonna go off to go look for, Kate's gonna come back next season. She'll make appearances next season, but she's gonna go look for Bruce. And we actually do have a Bruce Wayne. We have an actor who plays Bruce Wayne, so I wouldn't be surprised if the two of them come back as well. Because from what I heard, in next season, we're actually gonna have Batman villains next season, because in the very final scene, the bag that had all of Bruce Wayne's collections in it washed up on shore, and the poison ivy plant started growing, which I guess means poison ivy felt the power of the plant, and now poison ivy, the Mad Hatter, hopefully the Riddler and the Penguin. And I said, hopefully, I heard that these actors are going to show up in season 3, and I'm excited because I've been saying from Jump Street we need actual Batman villains on the show. Like, you're in Gotham, these people should be there. So that's that's something to look forward to. And then also in the final scene, Ryan, she went to go see Alice in prison, and then she was like, this is justice for my mom, bitch. She was locked up in prison. And then and then she basically just went there to gloat. And then right before she walked out, Alice was just like, oh, so you don't want to know the information about your birth, mommy? And then she was like, what are you talking about? She's like, what you talking about, Willis? And then she was just like, well, you may have gotten justice for your foster mom, but she said your biological mom is still out there in the world. She said that you thought that your mom died in childbirth, but that was actually a lie. Your mom's still alive. And that's how it just cut with Ryan looking surprised, and then that's how it ends. So now we know how Alice gets out of prison because Ryan's obviously gonna want to know the information about about her birth mom. So that's what we're gonna do. That's what we're gonna do next season, and that's gonna be fine as well. Who knows? Like, her mom might actually turn out to be a villain, which would be something dope, something good to enjoy. So that was it. That was it, guys. Thank you for tuning in as always. One thing though. What the hell happened to, what's the girl name? Julia. Remember when things that we don't know. We don't know what Alice actually did with Sophia. We don't know what happened to the Desert Rose. And as far as we know, Julia is still brainwashed. Because remember, Enigma brainwashed Julia into lying about finding Kate Kane's brain fragments, so everybody would drop the search and move on. And then Julia was just like, oh, I'm quitting the Crows and I'm going overseas, and we never found out what happened to that. So Julia's and then Mary even said, she was like, why would Julia lie to us about finding Kate's brain fragments? And nobody bothered to investigate what happened to Julia. So hopefully they pay that off next season. We'll see what happens. I'm looking forward to that as well. But let me know in the comment section. Let me know what you think about the season finale of Batwoman. Are you excited for season 3? Are you happy how season 2 ended? I'm happy all the way around the board. Like I said, I love Batwoman. I like the direction it's going in. I like all the characters. Who's your MVP of the season? Who was the one actor throughout the entire season that you liked more than anybody else? Me personally, it's Sophie Moore, MVP. She held it down. And I'm gonna be honest with you. if they never decided to create a Ryan Wilder character, I would have been perfectly happy with Sophie being the one to wear the bat suit because she quit the Crows anyway. So if Sophie became Batwoman, I would have been perfectly fine with that because she would have fit the whole criteria perfectly. But but it didn't happen. And, because she ain't got no job now because the Crows are finished. We never found out what happened to Jacob Kane. He's still in jail. So there's a lot going on. But let me know who your MVP is. Let me know what you thought about the season. Let me know what you think about next season with the Batman villains popping up. And, let's share our thoughts. Check me out on Twitter. Check me out on Instagram. Check me out on YouTube as always. Leave those comments, questions, and or concerns. And we'll follow this up and we'll keep talking about it until season 3 premieres. We only got 18 episodes due to the pandemic. But, hopefully we'll get a full 22, 23 for next season. And like I said, it'll be wild and it'll be crazy and I'm gonna be all here for it. So thanks for tuning in, guys. Thank you for tuning in with the Batwoman journey with me from the beginning all the way up in January. 18 episodes, 18 weeks or more. We did this. We does this. Stargirl's coming soon. We're waiting for Supergirl to come back. I believe Superman and Lois is about to end soon. The Flash is almost over. So we're winding down on the season of superhero TV. But again, we're still gonna get Stargirl. We're still doing Loki for all you Marvel fans. And Titans is coming in August, so then we'll pick up Titans and we'll keep it going. So that's it, guys. So until next season, for the final time, for Batwoman, take care, love you all, and I'm out this bitch!